Hey, y'all, and welcome back to Tina Talks Purpose. I'm your host, Tina Ricks, and I thank you for joining me for another episode of this brand new journey. If you're new here, welcome. You've come to the right place. This is a space for faith, healing, growth, and real talk, where we remind ourselves that there is purpose in the process. This is episode 2, From Caterpillar to Courage. Before we get into it, I want to share that each season of this podcast is going to have 10 episodes, each one building on the last. In this first season, Becoming the Butterfly, we'll walk through transformation from pain to peace, confusion to clarity, and surviving to truly living. Let me take y'all back to my teen years, a time that still feels like yesterday sometimes. You know, when those memories start flooding back. Those years were awkward for me, sometimes funny and full of lessons that I didn't even know I was in the midst of learning. So I'll be honest, I didn't know who I was back then. And like a lot of young people, I was trying to fit in everywhere, even when it didn't fit my spirit, honey. I was that kid who laughed loud, joked too much, and used humor to hide how lost I truly felt. My hair was never perfect. My style was all over the place. And while everyone else seemed to have it all together, huh, me, I was just trying. Yes. I came from a two-parent home. I thank God my parents are still together today. But growing up back then, a lot of families went through. There was a lot of fighting, a lot of laughing, a lot of playing, a lot of crying. I mean, that's just what we saw. That's what love looked like to us. Loud voices, tension, and people trying to figure life out the best way they could. When you grow up in that kind of environment, you learn survival early. You learn to escape, to shut down, or to toughen up. And before you know it, those habits become part of who you are. By the time I was a teenager, that was me, full of independence, but also full of anger and pain. I didn't even understand why. I wanted to belong somewhere so bad that I kept attaching myself to people who didn't always mean me well. My family used to say, "Girl, you better stop picking up those stragglers." But I had this big heart and I just wanted to help people. I wanted to be friends with everybody. And I thought everyone meant me well, even when it ended up hurting me. Yes. When I look back between the ages of 17 and 21, I can honestly say it wasn't a season of growth. I kept saying that I knew everything. I kept thinking it to myself, but I didn't. It was a season of hard lessons. I didn't see it back then, but those years were molding me. They were making me who I am today. See, when you're trying to figure out who you are while you're also trying to survive, you make a lot of mistakes in between. You love the wrong people. You chase the wrong things. You settle for less than what you deserve because you don't even know your worth yet. I had no idea. But every mistake carries a seed. And if you stay strong and you stay around long enough, those seeds eventually grow into wisdom. So let's talk about becoming a mom. When I was 16, I found out I was pregnant. When I was 17, I had my first child over Christmas break in my 11th grade year of school. Yeah, I was scared, but I had to act like I wasn't. I was a smart mouth teenager. And yes, I had been working since the age of 14. So I felt like I could take care of myself anyway. So what was having a baby? It was nothing to me. not just because I was young, but because I didn't know what my life would look like next. When I told my dad, he didn't fuss or yell or anything. All he did was work. My dad worked. He would work two, three jobs at a time, honey, to take care of home. He said something that stuck with me, though. For the rest of my life, it will always stick with me. He said, if you want to drop out of school, that's fine. But if you do, you'll need to get a job. Make sure you keep it and take care of your baby. That was it. That's all he had said. And that's all he had to say. And I remember thinking right then and there in that moment, no, I'm not about to live that kind of life. That life of struggle is not for me and my baby. I didn't know how I'd do it, but I knew quitting school was not an option. That moment changed everything for me. It lit a fire in me. I refused to be that girl, the one who gave up on school, who let life define her. That was my junior year of high school. By my senior year, I had my baby and I still graduated on time, diploma in hand. No prom, no senior trips, but I did what I came to do for me and my baby. And let me tell you, back then, they had a whole school bus that picked up pregnant teens and took us to the health department for parenting classes. That's how many of us there were. But even on that bus, I knew this isn't my ending. This is just my beginning. Those early years taught me something powerful, that you can carry a child and still carry your dreams. And for any young mother listening right now, hear me loud and clear. Your story isn't over just because it started early. It's just the first chapter in a much bigger book. Yeah, you heard me. Now looking back, I see that God was shaping me. Even when I didn't realize it, I thought I was just surviving, but I was really being strengthened. I learned how to manage time, handle pressure, and sacrifice, all before I was old enough to buy a car. Those experiences built something in me that no degree could ever teach. They built resilience. They built courage. They built faith. Even when I wasn't living right, God's hand was still on me. I didn't have all the church words. I didn't know how to pray fancy prayers, but I knew how to cry out when it hurt. And sometimes he always met me there. So today, if you're listening and you feel like your past disqualifies you, it doesn't. You might be in your caterpillar season right now, but don't forget, the butterfly doesn't grow overnight. You got to go through the cocoon. It's dark in there. It's tight in there, but there's where the change happens. Keep pushing, keep praying, keep believing that you're being prepared for your wings. And before we close, I want to ask you something. If this episode spoke to your heart, please take a second to subscribe to this podcast. And if you're on Spotify, Podbean, or YouTube, hit that follow button. Share this episode with someone who might need a little courage today. And I want to hear from you, seriously. If you have a question about something I said in this episode, or if there's a part of my story that you want me to go deeper on, drop it in the comments or message me on my social pages. I'll be answering your questions in future episodes because this isn't just my story, it's our conversation. Thank you for being here with me for episode 2, From Caterpillar to Courage. I pray this episode reminded you that it's okay to not have it all figured out. Your beginning doesn't define your ending. The same girl who once felt lost, broken, and unsure, she's the same woman now standing in her purpose, talking to you right here. She's the same one who worked her way through a bachelor's degree, a master's degree, and is leaning on this doctorate right now. So don't rush your process. You're becoming right now. Join me next time for episode 3, The Invisible Scars. where I'll open up about the abusive relationship I survived and the healing that's still happening. Until then, keep growing, keep believing, and always remember there's purpose in your process.